and even in the Netherlands, troubles flared up. Actually, it says the third night. This was a day ago. They still had troubles last night as well. So it's been 4 nights of riots and protests in the Netherlands because of a curfew that was instilled by the prime minister. I believe it was. Sorry about that. I just want to get that up. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Um, Root. His last name is Root. So the prime minister instituted a made sure to institute a curfew due to a COVID-19 related issue. Basically, the British alteration of the COVID-19 virus seems to have made it to the Netherlands, and they were worried about it, so they shut down and made a curfew for the first time since World War II. It seems like this is just a lot of angry, apathetic people and right-wing people. I just want to read off something that a journalist. It's important to also note that about 300 to maybe 500 people have been arrested at this point. So journalist Catherine Kale, who was present at some of the squatters' riots in Amsterdam 40 years ago and made a documentary about Urk, is in no doubt about in the Telegraph. Telegraph is a newspaper there. It's too easy to call these people scum or say that they're being held back through lack of opportunities or that they simply don't hold with authority, she wrote. I fear that we are here as a bunch of spoiled brats who are bored to go out and rampage for kicks. And am I wrong to say that girls were in a minority? In this case, there is some hope for the future. So if they were basically comparing this to what happened at the Capitol. So this is a lot of the same forced anger, and let's play the sorry about that. Let's play the clip video 2 of how much destruction they really. It almost felt like a riot in Philly.
All right, I'll cut over right now. Are we getting? Is there audio?
So if
to
you,
this?
no, there's no audio to the beginning. So just in layman's terms, this is just pure riot. Like, I mean, I don't think as Americans we can just conceive of the cops being on bicycles and not engaging. Like, the worst was some tear gas.
What's crazy about it is people like things like this because they figure that. Oh, look, hold on. What the hell is that?
They're throwing bottles, and like this would get you shot.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And the riots themselves are, for what I would say is a dumb reason. Like, we are trying to save the world in some form from a pandemic, and these people are, I think, basically incel right wingers right now, and they're like trying to find a way to push out all of this anger and frustration they have, that they can't do just whatever they want to do at youth. And that's just insane. It's just, I mean, yes, the Netherlands is a very homogenic, country. It's specifically a very white country, but I don't believe that that's the only thing. I think it's just, and like, they are a first world country that's doing very well, and these youth are just like, well, I should be able to go out and do whatever. And I've
Yeah.
seen great videos of people cleaning up after them. The Netherlands is a whole different society. There are people that are waking up in the morning and cleaning up after all of this, but they can't even stand a curfew. And I mean, I lived in New York, and we had a curfew for a month.
Yeah, there's triggers for everything, man. You know what I mean? If somebody's used to a certain kind of lifestyle and you disrupt it, those people that you think are sane and normal like turn into animals. Like I'm not saying that everybody there doesn't feel like a justified reason to want to do what they're doing or whatever it is, because of the fact that they're, being restricted to some degree in their mind. But because that's basically what it is, you're saying, right? That they're upset that they're
Mhm.
being, but that's the same way it is everywhere. You know what I mean? Everybody wants just some normalcy in their lives, and they're already frustrated. And some people, it just takes that little bit of, push to put them over the edge. And you think about, like, okay, fine, like maybe one out of 100 people are triggered, but if there's hundreds of thousands of people, that's a significant amount of people, right? Or millions of people, depends on where you're at. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
so that's what the problem is. Most people just want to live normally and just go, excuse me, deal with what's going on, as rationally as possible. But nobody expected this. I was just trying to chill, like, before COVID came. You know what I mean? I wanted to, make moves, and now it's like it totally disrupted a lot of things that I'm doing. But then at the same time, it's called adapting, right? Like, people don't want to adapt, so instead of adapting, they what's it, push back, right? It creates
Yeah, pushback. Yeah,
yep. They're like, hell
yeah.
no, I'm not down with that. I'm not going to be controlled by you. Who are you? You know. So I'm trying to keep you alive. Oh, that's my choice. Like, that's the argument you're against. You know what I mean? That's my choice. I want to live the way I want to live. I was like, no, but you're gonna
And I have
affect
to give
others.
some respect to the I have to give some respect to the prime minister there because he did not back down from this. He two things, he did not back down from this at all and said that there's still going to be a curfew until we have numbers that are low enough. And two, he basically has said the army shouldn't get involved yet. We don't, like, it's not like we won't think about it, but there's another article that we all attached to this that was speaking on how the prime minister himself was like, no, it's time for the police to just still be out there, not the army, not try to, like, quell this with, like, as it is a riot.
Yeah.
It's hard for me not to see it as a riot, but it to them it is a more of a protest, and maybe that is something that is so different about a European culture and the United States culture about protesting and, like, property damage.
Yeah. There's a difference. I mean, not a, there shouldn't be a difference, but I know I would have definitely gotten shot for throwing a rock at somebody. I
Yeah,
would think so. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean,
But no,
nobody should, honestly, no, nobody should be shot for throwing a bottle at a vehicle, but honestly, if they do so, they're probably going to do it in what is seen as self-defense. And we just have different rules here. And honestly, who knows? Who, maybe they didn't have. I don't know how the Netherlands works, so I don't know how they do with their weaponry. But maybe they're trained not to use their weapons, like use their guns in those situations. And that is one of those things. Like, I think we've talked about defund the police, and we've talked about how the rhetoric of the words make it hard for a lot of it to change.
mhm.
But this is a clear, like, reforming, if you want to say reform the police even, this is a clear showing because these were violent people, and they were not, nobody so far is dead, and that is
Yeah.
what's important. Nobody, maybe somebody is injured. There are tons of enough people who are arrested, but there's nobody that is dead from this.